Alright, so here we are back with the scooter. Today we're going to be doing an oil change and removing the spark plug, the old spark plug, and removing that one and putting in a new NGK. The part number is CR7HSA. They are pre-gapped. That's the spark plug I always run on my scooters. It doesn't need one right now, but you know, why not replace it with a better one? Anyway, I'll show you guys the products that I'll be using today and show you some tips and tricks. Doing the maintenance on these scooters are pretty easy, so I'll show you guys how it's done. Alright, so as you can see, I have this funnel type container. It shows it in ounces on one side, quarts and pint measurements, and you got milliliters on the other side, which is the side that we're going to need for this. Because this scooter takes 0.8 quarts, which should be 800 milliliters. I put in slightly more, like 8.5. Just to be extra sure, but we'll go through it when I change the oil and I'll show you. You always make sure that you fill it to the fill line, not over and not under. Today I'm going to be using the Castrol Power One. This is for motorcycle specific. It is 10W40. The manufacturer says 15W40, but you can also use other oils depending on your climate. Just a microfiber cloth to keep things clean. Here is the spark plug. It was like $4 from O'Reilly. This is what it says on it. You just tell them that you get a CR7HSA and the cross-reference it. This one right here. This one is saying DPR8EA9. Well, maybe that's a match, I guess. Let's see, I hope so. They told me this one cross-reference for the other one, so. And then lastly, just some gloves. You know, these are personal preference. You can decide to not wear gloves. I have also not worn gloves, but this time I want to try to protect my skin, especially since I have some blisters and cuts as well. This basic oil pan, this is like $4. Dispose of your oil properly. Be a good person, protect the environment. Practically any auto parts store will recycle your oil for free. So, anywho, first we're going to start draining the oil on this bike, and then I'll show you guys there's 2 drain plugs on this scooter. Your scooter should be pretty similar if it's a GY6 50 or 150cc scooter. All the stuff I'm using today was like $34. I just got a basic socket set right here, just a generic one from Walmart. Once I get some nicer stuff, you know, nicer bikes and stuff like that, I'll get nicer tools. But this will do for the Chinese scooter. All right, so this is the left side of the bike. This should be 17 millimeter. That's a drain right there. And as you can see on the other side, sticking out, that is also the drain right there. That one has the metal filter in it when you undo it. So drain both those and let your bike warm up before you do this. Just be careful, don't let it warm up too much. I scalded it's hard to see, my finger on the exhaust, trying to check the oil like an idiot. So let's get draining this oil. Alright, so as you can see, the mechanic stand is kind of getting in the way of the pan here. Kind of have to squeeze that thing in there. It's not going to be a complete, as you can see, it's just not fitting. So we'll jam this in here, and however we can, probably just set it in there like that. But it should be good. There we go. Something like that. Alright, so we got this one loose. It's kind of a pain in the ass. This one is 17 millimeter socket. Hopefully we don't make a mess. All right, hard to see, but we have the oil draining. It's kind of a tight squeeze in this little area for this pan for some reason. Maybe they got a smaller drain pan they use in China. Who knows? Maybe there's a different one I can use, but this regular size one, you have to like squish it between the back tire, and it's kind of awkward. But so this is the first plug. This is on the left side of the bike. This is a 150cc scooter. On the case is stamped BN157QMJ. BN157QMJ is what it says. So we'll let this one drain out, and then we'll hop over to this side, and we'll do that one. This side just has a washer and a bolt, and that's it. The other one has like a metal filter and the spring. I'll show you guys when we get to the other side. All right, so when you're tightening this back up, do not over tighten it. A snug, snug amount will fit. So as you can see, it's getting harder to tighten now. And once it stops right there, like this, doesn't want to go anymore, I usually just give it a couple pats, and then that's it. You don't want to over tighten it. I've made that mistake before. It sucked terribly. It's actually on the other bolt on the other side, and I messed up the threads and all that stuff. Not on this particular bike, but another one. So that sucked really bad. We're good. So let's hop over to the side and undo the other one. All right, this side's gonna be the same thing. 17 millimeter. Take the, loosen it up. Then a spring and the bolt will come out, as well as a little metal filter. All right, let's see how much, if any, comes out of this side. That one was a little tough to get off. So, when this starts pouring out here, I'm going to show you guys what falls out the bottom of this, if you haven't done this before. Alright. A little bit's coming out, barely. So, what came out so far is going to be this spring and this, that you loosen with this socket. The filter's still up in there. If it doesn't come out, just tap it with your finger, jiggle it back and forth, and there we go, we got the filter. As you can see, the color of the oil is really good, it's brown. But I'm doing this for the final, well, not the final time, you know what I mean. I'm breaking in this engine, and I've changed the oil a couple times now that it's at 700 miles. I'm putting in this motorcycle specific 10W40 full synthetic. This stuff is like 12 bucks a quart. But you guys let me know with your experience of what oil you guys use, and if you guys use any oil stabilizers. It's another thing I was thinking about doing, but I would like people's opinions first, that are experienced with that kind of stuff. I've never used an oil stabilizer, but it does seem like it helps, thicken up the oil and reduce friction. So anyway, so how this goes in here, there's this little indent. You stick the smaller side in first. You stick the filter just like that. And it's kind of a circus act to get this in here, but just push it in. Don't be rough with it. The spring's going to push back on your hand as you're trying to tighten this. That's probably going to be the most awkward part, because it's fighting you while you're trying to tighten it. All right, we got it started, so we can fill it up once we get this tightened. And again, don't over tighten this, just make it snug. That's the condition of the oil. The stuff floating in there is just from like the microfiber towel and some other things that I got in there. But I'm not really seeing any metal flakes. It does smell like, combustion, like gas. So that's the oil. Again, I just changed it not that long ago. It's still brown. Looks good. But I'm just doing this for preventative maintenance and be extra cautious while breaking in this motor. You don't want to be too hard on them. Since this is a cheaper bike, you do want to take care of them more than you would, a Japanese bike with better quality parts. So we're going to change out these gloves after we get this oil in. And then we're going to do the spark plug next. All right, everybody, so this is going to be kind of awkward to do on my own. But we'll see how it goes. I've never used a funnel like this before where it shows you the milliliters. So I'm going to give that a try and hope for the best. I do stick like a rag, or you can stick, whatever, right here. Just to prevent, if it decides to overflow out of the exhaust, that it doesn't get all over the exhaust pipe. Obviously, the engine's, it was barely warmed up when I did this. That's the oil now. Let's see if I can get this to focus. It's hard to see, but there's none in there, of course, because we just drained it all out. Give this a wipe. Make sure there are no particles from the rag. You don't want that stuff in your motor. All right, we're clean. We're gonna start pouring it in. This says on the engine, please change your oil after the first 300 miles and each 1,000 miles thereafter. Use only type 15 W40 oil. Capacity of engine oil tank is 0.8 liters. Now, I'm using 10W40. That's what I've always used. You can use different kinds of oil depending on your climate / preference. As long as it's, motorcycle specific oil, you should be good. I've also used just regular oil before, so just see what we're doing with. This is what we're doing. Never used one like this before. That's on and off, I think. This thing was like $7 and it comes with an extra screen to filter your oil, which I thought was pretty cool. So let me snip off this little thing real quick, just kind of get in the way, and then I'll get back with you guys. Also, of course, you can use just a regular funnel. I'll just try this one out to see if I like it or not. This also says on the side, pretty sure that's 750 milliliters, so that's 3/4 of a quart. So we're going to be using almost all of this. Hope I don't spill anything. So this is what we're working with here. Be extremely careful. This is kind of awkward. I'm starting to wish I just used a regular funnel now. This is kind of awkward, but just hope you don't spill anything. So you can control the speed of the oil going in with this little blue thing. You just twist it to the left to close it, twist it to the right to open it. So far, we're not spilling anything. Looks like this little tube that goes into the engine on this funnel, this particular funnel, I got from O'Reilly. I'm sure other places have it. It goes deeper down in the motor so it doesn't overfill, even though this is going at a faster rate than I would pour typically with a regular funnel. Usually when I use a regular funnel, it decides to just come out of the rim right here. That's why I'm so used to putting a rag right there. As you can see, it's slowly going in. It's going at a fair rate, in my opinion. So that's that. That's almost the whole quart. I had it barely at the 800 ml line. We're going to toss a little bit more in there for extra measure. You also do not want to overfill your oil. You definitely don't want to underfill it. So everything's properly lubricated and everything's rubbing together properly. So here comes the air bubbles from the final amount of oil. We're going to close this off. And there we go. Not one spill. That's surprising. All right, so we're going to check the oil while it is cooled, and we're going to run it. And we're going to check the oil again after it's hot. You can see, it's kind of hard to see, but it's at the full line. You do want this to be circulated in there and warmed up so you can get a proper reading. I won't focus, but you have to take my word for it. It is at the full mark. So we're going to do the spark plug, and then I'm going to go outside and let it run. All right, so for the spark plug, this is a situation that I'm dealing with right now. It is on the top right of the motor, and yours may be different, but, oh wow, this wrench is covered in oil. It might be soft okay. So, mine's on the top front right. There's been some bikes I've had where I could just get to it by hand, but it looks like this bike, the Vogue 150, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 10 millimeter volts. And there's some Phillips right here. We're going to see if we need to take those off as well. But I also got to adjust idle on this scooter. I never did when I got it. I got the throttle cable adjusted all the way out to compensate because I've been too lazy to do this. So we're going to adjust the throttle cable back, and then we're going to adjust the idle properly once it's warmed up. So let's take these bolts out, and then I'll let you guys know if you got to take these Phillips out too. All right, on this particular model, you do need to take the Phillips out, but that's it right there. It's loose. I'm going to take this off, adjust the idle, and put in the new spark plug. All right, so unfortunately for me, I don't have the right size socket, spark plug socket. This is the plug. I have just a cheap set down here. This is a 5/8, and it's not fitting. Of course, where that spark plug location is, you can't get a pair of pliers or anything in there. So I'll have to go run to the auto store, auto parts store, and pick one up. See, this bike has a fuel filter. This is the newer looking carburetor. I've never really had a new bike before, so it definitely looks all clean in here. The idle screw is right there. So we're going to push this outside. We're going to handle the idle, and then spark plug's super easy, guys. So if you have the right size socket, it's down here, and you just unscrew it. And again, don't over tighten it. Bam, you're good. Get one that's pre-gapped. If not, you can gap it with a little gapper tool. They're like $2 at the auto parts store. So let's go adjust this idle, and then we'll go from there. And then we'll finish this video up. Alright, so you want to make sure that the back tire is not spinning, because if that's the case, the idle's going to be up too high. There's also adjustments you can make right here. I got, screw this back. Well, actually I might keep it because this keeps tension on the cable and it relieves some of the slack that the throttle has. So I'll keep that how that is. You can see there's not really any slack in it. Before it was all loosey-goosey, so you're going to make sure the bike's warmed up when you adjust the idle, back tire is not spinning. Alright guys, so I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to start doing some more mower videos and stuff like that. I do flip those as a side income, because this is my primary income on DoorDash while I try to find myself a decent paying job. So anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you on the next one.